It's really light and fluffy. Oh, amazing. Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today, I'm going to show you how to make homemade glazed donuts. Oh yeah, I love homemade donuts. These donuts are very similar to the ones that you get at Krispy Kreme, that popular donut place here in the United States. So yummy, really easy to do, simple ingredients. If I can do it, you can do it. Before I move on, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of my new videos. Let's get started. Down below in the description box, you'll find a link where you can print this recipe out on my website, as well as a list of the ingredients. Now I'm going to begin with 1/2 cup of whole milk plus 1 tablespoon, and I heated it up in the microwave, or you could do it on the stovetop. And you want the temperature to be pretty warm, so in between about 100 degrees Fahrenheit and 110 Fahrenheit. And that's just going to be hot enough to activate the yeast. And I'm going to take some of my sugar. I have 1/4 cup of sugar here, and I'm just going to put about a teaspoon in the milk. It's not totally necessary because the milk has some natural sugars in it already, but I just want to have a little bit of food for this yeast. And then 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Or you could use like the rapid rise or the instant yeast. And I'm going to just put my fork in here and just agitate that a little bit. All right, and I'm just going to let this sit for about 10 minutes until it gets nice and foamy. And if after 10 minutes it's not foamy, then that means the milk wasn't hot enough, or maybe the yeast was bad or old, and you'll want to start again. You want to make sure it gets really foamy so you know the yeast is good. All right, until it gets nice and foamy, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I have a big bowl here. And normally I would just use that bowl, but for the sake of filming, I use the smaller bowl for the yeast. But I'll normally just put the hot milk in this big bowl. And then I'm going to add the rest of this 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to add 1 large egg. And then I have 3 tablespoons of butter here. And I'm going to just melt this in the microwave, 30 seconds or so, till it's nice and melted. Or you can do it on the stovetop. We don't want it to be really hot, just so it barely melts, okay? If it's too hot, it's going to cook that egg. All right, so I'll pour the melted butter in with the egg and the sugar and the yeast and milk. And we'll take a whisk and just give this a good whisk. Excellent. And now, in this bowl, I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. That nutmeg gives it an awesome flavor. And we'll come in here with a whisk and just whisk that together. And back over here to this mixture, we will put in about 1/3 of the dry ingredients first. And we'll take our whisk and we'll whisk this together. All right, I'm going to put the whisk away now because it's going to get too thick to use the whisk. I'll switch over to a silicone spoon, or you can use a wooden spoon. I'll put some more of that flour in there. You don't want to just dump it all in. Make sure to do it a little bit at a time. Add a little bit more in there. And then once it comes together like that, I'm going to dump it all out. I'm going to save this onto the side here. I may not need it all. So let's just dump it all out. Take some of the leftover dry stuff. I'm just going to push it over here in this corner. We want this dough to be fairly sticky. It just produces a lighter donut when you do that. All right, so I'm just going to take it all together and start kneading the dough. We're going to knead it for about 10 minutes. So you'll just fold it over, push out with it so it stretches, and then it's going to start to get sticky. Instead of adding the rest of this flour, you may not need that. So that's about 2 tablespoons left over. I don't want to add that anymore. So I'm just going to take some oil, just some vegetable oil, and then I'm going to knead the dough with the oil. Okay, and then when you're done, it's going to be nice and soft and smooth. And what we want to do is take a bowl, and I just put a little bit of oil in there, and just go up around the sides, and then drop your dough in there and just kind of move it around so it gets coated with that oil. And then we want to just cover this with like plastic wrap or a damp towel, and then set it somewhere warm and let it rise. We want to let it rise for quite a while, so about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And so it'll like go 2 to 2.5 times its size once it rises. All right, so on to that step. All right, the dough has risen beautifully and it's nice and soft. And I want to take it out of the bowl here. Very soft dough. And that extra flour that we have, just flour that surface, and we'll roll out that dough. About a 1/4 inch thick, somewhere around there. And then they have special donut cutters that you can get. I just have my biscuit cutter, and I'm gonna go right down on the edge like this. And then you can use a pastry bag tip if you want, and go right in the middle for the hole. And that will come right out, the dough will. And that could be your little donut hole. I also have this other ring, but I think it makes the hole a little bit too big, but you can still use, if you want a little bit bigger hole, you could do that as well. If you're going to make donuts like all the time, you might want to just get a specific donut cutter. But if you're just going to make them once in a while, I wouldn't bother with getting one. All right, and then what I want to do is I'm going to take this dough away. And we should be able to roll that dough together. Sometimes it kind of falls apart and it doesn't work that well. And so a lot of times I'll just take these pieces and just fry them like this so they look kind of like a weird shape donut, but that's totally fine. And then I just have a little sheet pan here with some parchment paper. And then I'm just going to put my donut shapes on there. And then I'm going to cover these and let them rise for another hour. The donuts have risen and they look fantastic. Now let's head over to the stovetop. All right, with about 20 minutes before the donuts were done rising, I took a pot and I put some oil in there, about an inch and a half deep of oil. I am using vegetable oil. You could use canola oil, peanut oil, any high heat oil. And now we can take these donuts and fry them up. And so what I will do is just drop them in like that. And we will cook these up. And then you want to just do a couple at a time. You don't want to overcrowd them. And we are going to let these cook. I have the oil heated up to right around 330 degrees Fahrenheit, 325, 330. And so we want to go about that much. And we'll just turn it over. I'm just going to use a fork. You could use like one of those spider ladles if you want. That nice golden color. We'll just do that until I get nice and golden brown. Take about 30 to 45 seconds per side. And then when you take them out, just go ahead and put them on a wire rack and so they can dry. I'll do a bunch of the donut holes. And just be careful, the oil is going to be hot, of course. So just go ahead and fry everything up. And then for the glaze, I have 3 tablespoons of butter that I melted, and I have about a 1/4 cup of milk, and I'm just going to add some of that milk to it. I'm not going to add it all. Mix that up a little. And then I have 2 cups of powdered sugar. Add all the powdered sugar in. And now it's just getting it to the consistency that you want. If you want it thick, you can do it thick. If you want it thin, you can do it thin. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit more milk, about another tablespoon. There we go. Nice runny glaze. And you'll take your donut and just put it right in there. Take your donut and put it right in there and just turn it around. Make sure it just gets covered. And just place it on a wire rack to dry. So I'll just dip all these, the rest of them. All right, and then we'll just let the glaze dry. It'll take 15 to 20 minutes, somewhere around there. And once they have dried, they are ready to be eaten. I'm going to break one open and show you what it looks like on the inside. Awesome. It's really light and fluffy. Oh, amazing. All right, the homemade glazed donuts are done. Turned out fantastic. Really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. One thing to keep in mind is you can reuse that oil. Just cool it down completely, put it back in its container, and then you could use it again a few more times for donuts or beignets or something like that. Just don't use it for anything else like chicken or meat, something like that. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into one of these. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna grab this one right here. Mm.